everybody. Welcome to another Las Vegas Advisor Weekly Update. This is episode number 10 on August 25th, 2021. And you'll find us here in a new studio.
Yeah, it's a change.
Yeah.
I guess we can be more casual now. We can hang out and talk a little more or whatever. I don't know.
Well, I think so. We took out the green screen, and we're planning on having some guests come in and doing some more interview style type programming in addition to these updates. But in the background, we have some books that are published by the Las Vegas Advisor, Huntington Press.
Yeah, these are, we don't know what we're going to do about decorations yet, but this is how we started.
Yeah.
A couple of interesting ones here. The one behind me is from Whale Hunt in the Desert. Mm-hmm. This was the original cover of that book. That book's been in 3 printings now, and 3 editions rather. And so there's been 3 different covers. But this was the original one, and that's Steve Sear. He's it's a book about a casino host, and he's the subject. It was written by Deke Castleman, who a lot of people will know from the Las Vegas Advisor. He's been an editor here for decades. And it is considered one of the absolute best gambling books ever written, to be honest with you.
Well, Anthony, just in case people don't know what a casino host does, what is a casino host?
Well, the casino host is a guy whose job it is to extract money from you. And, that's what Sear does. And he befriends these guys and, the high rollers, and he gets them to gamble. And his famous saying is, "I want losers, baby." That's what he says. "I want losers, baby," because he gets paid by how much they gamble and often by how much they lose. So he has to walk this, strange tightrope. And it's a great book. And I can tell you that of all the books we've ever done here, we've never had one option for movie or TV series more often than this one.
Yeah.
Nobody's done it yet, but one of these days I think you're going to see a whale hunt TV series or something, sort of like a Jerry Maguire,
Yeah, well, it makes sense because, to be a casino host, you're dealing with people. If you're a whale, like a whale hunt in the desert, like what do you have to spend at a casino or gamble to be considered a whale?
Well, it's different in different places, but if you're talking about the Strip, he's probably talking about guys who are going to put up at least a minimum of 100,000 to $250,000 in the cage to gamble against. And those guys would be mini whales. The guys who are really going to be doing it are going to be 500,000 and up.
Okay.
But, we're going to have Steve. This new setup is conducive to us bringing in other guests.
Yeah.
And one of our first guests is going to be Steve Sear, and that's going to be one that you don't want to miss.
Okay. And then we have another book cover behind us with Oscar Goodman.
Yeah, this was Of Rats and Men. And this is about, the famous mob lawyer, Oscar Goodman. And this is, here's an insight on that. This is one that I really blew. Of all the books we did, this is a great book. It's written by John L. Smith, one of the best, again, another great gambling writer. But John and I went out one day for beers, and we came up with this title, Of Rats and Men. And we were a little bit high, and we thought we were so clever, and we went through with it. And when it was done, I've said to myself for years now, why didn't we just call it Mob Mayor?
Yeah.
It should have been called Mob Mayor. So many more people would have bought it, but we had to get fancy with Of Rats and Men.
Well, sometimes a title is everything, but you know what they say? It's, sometimes you can't judge a book by its cover.
Or by its title.
Right.
Two good books, though. And this is something we're going to experiment with. We'll bring in some guests, and for now, this is going to be our platform, right?
Yeah. That's right. And so comment, give us suggestions, as you always do. So getting into this week's update, let's talk about vaccination cards, passports, and requirements for going into live entertainment in Las Vegas.
Yeah, there's not much to say about masks. We've been updating the listeners or the watchers, the viewers on masks. There's not much change there. But what is being changed, or where we are seeing movement, is something akin to what they're calling vax passports.
Right.
Meaning you're going to need to show your proof of vaccination to do things. Now, the casinos are very much resisting this. They don't want you to have to show a passport to come in. That's not good for their business. So they're resisting this. But a lot of the entertainment venues within the casinos are kind of taking the ball and running with it. We've seen, the places, I got a list here right now. The places that are requiring them already are Raiders games, the Smith Center, Lady Gaga, when she starts her residency at Park MGM, you're going to have to show vaccination or proof of a negative test within 72 hours to attend that show. The Majestic Theater downtown, the Life is Beautiful concert, the AEG venues, which is Virgin Las Vegas, and Resorts World.
Okay.
Now, the thing is, Resorts World is kind of fighting back against this. They don't really want to do it. and they're going to open with Celine Dion on November 8th. And as of now, they're saying you're not going to have to show a vaccination record, but who knows what's going to change by then. And it's the recent approval of the Pfizer vaccination is what is pushing them to do it now.
So I guess people really need to be aware of either being able to provide a test, take a test, or just provide your proof of vaccination.
Yeah, this is obviously a very political topic, and we're not political here. I mean, we really tried not to be political, so we're not either for or against it. We're not saying this is good or bad, but we are telling you what you're up against, and that means, especially if you're going to go to a show, you've got to call ahead or check with the box office and see what they require.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you could be turned away.
Right, yeah. So you really got to be prepared. You got to think in advance, and you kind of have to have a plan of where you're going. We were also talking about restaurants as well. It seems like as a carryover from COVID, you really need to make restaurant reservations. It seems like there's a lot of waits at the popular restaurants all the time now.
Especially on weekends.
Yeah.
I mean, because again, people just want to get out. In a lot of places, they're still not at full seating capacity. But this also carries over to that. You should call. When you call for a reservation, you should also ask them, what do you need? Masks only? Or do you need more? Because otherwise you're going to show up and you could be turned away.
So since we're on the topic of food, let's talk about another buffet update. What do we have opening, Anthony?
We've got what looks like it will be buffet number 9, which is the Rampart Marketplace buffet. Now, I know I said to you, Andrew, the Rampart is opening its buffet, and you go, where's the Rampart?
Right.
It's the Rampart is located way, way up on the west side. So there are 2 casinos up on Rampart Road is what it is. And one of them is Suncoast, and right next to it is the Rampart.
Okay.
So it's quite a ways away. It's kind of a locals buffet. They're doing like a lot of them are. They're only doing 2 meals. They're doing dinner 5 days a week, and they're doing brunch on the weekends. And the price is $30 for both of them.
Okay.
So, it's no great shakes, no great deal. But now, we're up to 9 buffets now, and they seem to keep coming.
All right. And that's great. And just as a reminder, we always think the best buffet deal in town is the South Point. That's on the LVA top 10.
Yep.
So
one more thing on buffets while we're on the subject. We talked a week or 2 ago, we talked about Main Street Station coming back. And I would just caution everybody out there who's excited to maybe temper your expectations a little bit. We don't know for sure what's going on, but we hear things. And it sounds like this is not going to be what it was. And I don't know if that means it's not going to be as good as it was, or if it's going to be a different buffet format. But everybody's being very cagey and quiet about it. But I don't like the sound of this.
All
so
right.
September 8th, we're going to have our 10th buffet with Main Street Station, and we'll see what that looks like.
All right, so we'll have to follow up on that. But also remember, Main Street Station is opening, so that's cool. Go check it out.
Yep.
Last but not least, we always try to give out like a cool tip or a cool new place. And Anthony took me to a place yesterday, which I had never heard of, never been before, but we had a great time and some great food. And it's the Leatherneck Bar. Do you want to tell us a little bit about?
Yeah, it's actually the Leatherneck Club.
Okay.
And it's like a bar and club that sort of commemorates and pays homage to servicemen of all sorts, but mostly Marines.
Yeah.
Hence the Leatherneck. So much so that when Marines go in there, they get their first drink free. But this is not just a service bar. I mean, this is a place that's open to everybody. It's in the strangest location you would ever expect something like this, deep in the heart of Chinatown. And back in a strip mall. But it is one of the coolest places you can go to. I mean, the beers are good and cold. The food is really good. We went for Taco Tuesdays.
Yeah.
Yesterday.
The one dish in particular that was such a surprise was the wasabi covered shrimp tacos.
Yeah, these are as good as any shrimp tacos you're going to get. They're $2 a piece on Taco Tuesdays, or 3 for $5.
Yeah.
And I thought they were terrific. Apparently they alternate them. It's not shrimp every week, but every Tuesday they have this deal. And the rest of their food is great too. I mean, they've got I'm not sure, I didn't look at the prices because I hadn't been back there since the reopening, but they used to have one of the best $8 burgers in town. They've got a huge hot dog that's smothered in tomatoes and pickles and whatever, cabbage or something. I mean, it's terrific.
Yeah, and it really is kind of, like you said, it's a club. It's laid out like a social club kind of vibe, and there's a lot of
like
memorabilia. Yeah.
The memorabilia is like a museum, which is, again, an homage to the Marines and the things that they've done. It's a really interesting place. I mean, They say there's not another bar like it west of the Mississippi, and I know there's not one like it in Vegas.
So if you're in town and this sounds interesting, go check it out. We're going to have the address in the description box. That's it for this week. We'll see you next week.